The following is a presentation of the Hello Chicago Network.
Hello, Chicago Network is on the air. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Yanishatis, and it's time to focus for this Monday, January the 26th, final week of January. Usually it's the worst month to get through. As you can hear, I'm battling a illness. Probably the first time I felt really good. I haven't exercised in a few weeks. Started over the weekend. Going to kick it off again in February. January just hasn't been a good month overall. Hopefully things can get better the rest of the year. But I'm here talking to you guys, so let's start this thing out with some Blackhawks focus. Okay, let's talk about the Chicago Blackhawk team. Of course, we last week we had the Chicago Bears, then we did the Cubs Con Artist on Friday. So we're catching you up on a good portion of Chicago Blackhawks hockey. The first, let's start off all the way back on the 15th. They lose to the Calgary Flames 3-1. They lose to the Bruins 5-2 on the 17th. The 19th, they get a win over the Winnipeg Jets 2-0. We're going to get back to that in a second. January 22nd, they win in a shootout over the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3. They win on the 23rd they lose in a shootout to the Lightning 2-1. And then they lost on Sunday night to the defending Cup champion Florida Panthers. Remember, they faced them on opening night. 1-goal game this time, not so much. They lose of a final of 5-1. The game against the Winnipeg Jets, obviously, Jonathan Toews makes his return back to the United Center, gets the ovation he rightfully deserves. Made me interested in hockey. Never watched hockey a day before we started to see. Obviously, for you folks that don't know, the whole thing with the ownership not putting games on TV, so home games, and so basically hockey wasn't on television, and then all of a sudden you saw slowly home games started, or they didn't want home games on TV because they wanted fans in the stands. Probably the stupidest thing. It was Wirtz, and one of the stupidest things you've probably ever heard. Well, then slowly you started to see hockey back. At the same time hockey got back on TV, the Chicago Blackhawks became relevant. You saw Patrick Kane. You saw Jonathan Toews. Kaner just got his ovation not too long ago. Then you see Toews. Of course, then he took time off. Still really never sure what happened. None of our business. But physical, mental, took time off, left. This year came back with the Winnipeg Jets and got his moment. Got his moment to come back to the United Center, in the place where he hung 3 banners in the rafters for a franchise that was struggling, and put hockey back on the map. And I think a whole generation, I don't think anyone my age even liked hockey. And then you get that Blackhawk run, and that makes you want to enjoy and love watching hockey again. So a great job by the Chicago Blackhawks to be able to do that, and a great job Jonathan Toews to see him back, and wish him nothing but the best in his career. But the Blackhawks are playing good. They are. I think it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs this year, but it's so much probability going in. I mean, obviously Connor Bedard was hurt. You're hoping to see him continue to build and grow. The next couple, obviously, they still got a few games still before the Olympic break, but that I think hopefully this team can stay relevant in the playoff push, make the final few months of hockey interesting. I think that's the big thing. And then hopefully next year you really start to see this team do it. I mean, they're only 4 or 5. They're so relative 2-3 games out of a playoff spot. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. So we'll see if we can get that with the Chicago Blackhawks, and see if but they're making hockey fun again. First time in Hello Chicago Network history where this team has been relevant, because the one year I keep going back to, they were like 0-12, completely cashed out on hockey. They're bringing fun back to hockey in Chicago, something that's been missed. And we're seeing the Connor Bedard. We're seeing just this whole team start to band together. So I think that's the best thing. So the Blackhawks, so now we're caught up, I think that's the huge thing. And I think that's what we really wanted to see, was this team play really good. And that's we've seen a stretch of that. And I think that's huge. And of course now we're caught up. That's what I was saying, was we're caught up with all of the no more distraction of the Bears, unfortunately. And now it'll be Bulls and Blackhawks, and then it'll be just Bulls for February. So that's when we're going to get back into talking a little baseball. I haven't addressed offseason Cubs, White Sox. We'll address all that coming up in February. So the Blackhawks playing pretty well. And hopefully going to try to get back in that playoff race and make it exciting the final few months of the season. Take a time out here on the Hello Chicago Network. Only 2 segments now with just the Bulls and the Blackhawks. We're going to talk Bulls, and then we'll talk about the Derrick Rose ceremony Saturday night, and I'll talk about how he made me feel. So we're going to have the Hello Chicago Rewind and the Ryan Focus all in one segment. So let's head there right now. Come on. Oh, God. Here we go. Season on the line. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
He's open.
He's open. He just caught the ball.
Cole Komet.
Holy shit.
The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The
Okay, welcome back here to the Hello Chicago Network. A lot of stuff to unpack there, of course, from Fan Focus Live last Sunday. The game-tying touchdown by the Bears, which was unbelievable. I watched that moment, just our reaction, how awesome it was. The final last time of what an amazing season it was for the Bears. My dad's still not over that game, and I'm on the other side of it where I'm positive. I know it's hard to get back there, but at the same time, you know. And you don't know, and they might not get back there next year. They have a very tough schedule, but that was a very entertaining and fun team, and they were very close. Congratulations also to Indiana winning the college football championship. Your Super Bowl is set less than 2 weeks away. It'll be Seahawks, Patriots. God, crazy to hear the Patriots back in it after that long run with them as well. So all that. Also, you don't forget Raise the Bar every Tuesday, Thursday on Raise the Bar TV, which this is on at 3:15 every Monday and Friday. Thanks to Brandon James who sets all that up. And then finally, you saw. So I got to get a little insight here. So over the weekend, my dad and I, we were going to do this because today is the 40-year anniversary of Super Bowl 20 Bears and the Patriots. So I sat down with my dad. We were mic'd up. We watched the whole Super Bowl. First time I ever watched the 85 Super Bowl, because I kind of pretend that I don't know if I'm ignorant to it, but I don't like to watch things before I was born. I don't know. Not that it don't exist. Just I don't feel like I need to. I'm not a history guy. So never watched it. Sat down with my dad, recorded, had it unbelievable. Learned stuff. Just the technology of the game and all that kind of stuff. But we get it all done. Microphones didn't work. So production wise, wasted 2 hours, but being able to get a chance to spend 2 hours with my dad to watch a game that, I mean, he wants to see again. And he wants to see a Super Bowl again, but it was so much fun to be able to do that. But unfortunately, we recorded it with no audio, so that's on me. So Fan Focus Live coming back on Saturday, February 21st for a Bulls-Pistons game. Looking forward to that. That should be fun, exciting to do a Bulls game. So that'll be Saturday, February the 21st. Get our first chance to cover a Bulls game. So that's coming up in a few weeks. So now, speaking of the Bulls, let's focus on those Chicago Bulls. Stretch for the Bulls here. They had a home and home with the New Jersey Nets. They lost the first one 112-109. Then they do win one at the United Center, 124-102. On the 20th, they beat the Clippers, who just seem to be, I mean, they got the new arena, they got Kawhi Leonard, they got all this hoopla around this team, and they haven't done anything. And they lose, the Bulls will beat them 138-110. They beat the Timberwolves, who have been in the race for a conference championship. They beat them 120-115. And then Boston, on the 24th, they win 114-111 Saturday night. They're back in action starting tonight. Possibly LeBron James' last appearance in Chicago. Not sure. Odds are, I mean, a lot of people, and I kind of agree with that. I don't think he's going to go out without the year tour. I don't think he's just going to say, I'm done. So odds are he's going to have one, I would say at least. I think we're going to know when the final time he comes to the United Center is. But possibly tonight, but I don't. And the last time they were there, I believe that was there, unless it was in Los Angeles. But the game-winning, I think it was at home. Game-winning buzzer beater for Josh Giddey was against the Lakers. So that was our walk-off of the year. And the Bulls. And by the way, Kevin Huerter had the game winner. Now I don't know how to do, because it was a game winner, but it wasn't there wasn't the walk. Like, is that a walk-off of the year because there was still time on the clock? So it's not a walk-off. So I don't think I can add that to the list. But by the way, Manas Buzelis has added a couple dunks to the dunk category in 2020, the 2026 awards already. So good for him. But anyway, great job by the Bulls. They're playing well, and I think that's the key thing. I mean, they're like a game or two out of the 6th spot. And of course, holding right there. They upcoming in the next week, they have 3 straight games against the Heat. They had to postpone the one because of what happened with the floor. So they got 2 in Miami, 1 against Miami. So they're going to get a good look at the Miami Heat, the team that they'll be playing. Most likely reserve it. They're going to be playing them in the play-in tournament in April. So should be fun. But again, this team's playing good. But again, I'm not going to judge this Bulls team until after the trade deadline, which is a little over a week from now, because that's when you're going to know who this team is, who they have, what they represent. So we'll see if that'll be the case. So Bulls a good stretch. They're playing well, and they're trying to solidify themselves, but we'll see who the Bulls have after the trade deadline, and then we'll decide if this is a Bulls team that's going to make the playoffs. I don't think the front office ever knows what they do, so why start now? And then finally, and then of course, what happened Saturday night was the Derrick Rose ceremony. He got his number retired. First number I believe I've got to see retire. And the career he had, obviously, didn't win a championship, won an MVP, was the injuries derailed. Tom Thibodeau said in his speech that he thinks he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he gets there with the injuries, but a lot of people say you don't deserve it. Dennis Rodman deserves it. I think Dennis Rodman had a tiff with the front office and that, so I think that's what probably hurts his chances as of right now getting in. I think they just got in the good graces. He's been coming back to games and stuff. MJ and Scottie Pippen both said congratulations. So, but Derrick Rose, I mean, I've seen people say you don't deserve it. For someone my age, I'm 35. I've watched Chicago Bulls basketball probably since 2000. The memories I vaguely remember watching Jeff Hornacek do his kiss the basket or brushes the free throws against the Bulls in the finals, and learning about Malone and Stockton. That last finals I remember Jordan coming back to the United Center as a Wizard. So those are the memories I have, but I wasn't able to appreciate the Chicago Bulls dynasty. Derrick Rose brought excitement, and probably the most excitement to Bulls basketball and hope of a championship in my lifetime. What he was able to do when he was healthy, he had some great buzzer beaters. He had one against Milwaukee, and I believe he had one against the Knicks. He was there. He was the guy. I mean, those teams with him, Noah, just a strong, Taj Gibson, those guys, Luol Deng, and they were all there to do the speech. Tom Thibodeau as his coach, and he even put to rest. He had the picture in his speech sitting there when he tore his ACL against I believe the Sixers in the playoffs, the year that everyone thought they were going to win the championship, and your guy goes down. And he said, a lot of people blame Tom Thibodeau for injury. He said, F that. So you got to give kudos to Derrick Rose. It was a speech that kind of was all over the place, but he talked about his life, how much his mom means to him, and how much his mom sacrificed for him to be able to do what he did, and paying off now. I mean, his whole family were there. It was this great ceremony. And I just want to say that I think he does deserve it. Does he get it? I honestly, and I've said this, I honestly don't think he gets it if he's not from Chicago, because it brings a whole nother light to this. He is Chicago's golden boy, and what he brought to Chicago and the excitement, even without a championship. Luol Deng said it in his speech to Derrick Rose. He said, "That's our banner, is seeing your number one hanging up in the rafters." It was a great time to be a Bull fan. Unfortunately, it was LeBron. That was LeBron, the peak of LeBron. Not only the Cavs, but with the Heat. And I mean, if those three, I mean, as much as I hated those teams, I thought they were gonna. If they all would have came to the Bulls, that would have been great. And I believe it was a Chris Bosh, one of those guys dethroned that move. But just sucks that there wasn't a title out of it. But Derrick Rose brought, if you were following basketball, was an unbelievable time. Just, it was tune-in time every time. They were the headliners on Christmas. Loved it. And it was a special time. And he had it, and it was my teen years and it was just a great time. So I think he deserves it overall. Congratulations on a great career, Derrick Rose. Obviously, the title not there, but still one of a kind, and he is one of one. So that'll do it for us today. Tomorrow, we'll be back on Friday, where we'll update you on the Blackhawks. We'll update you on the Bulls. So we'll only have 2-segment shows, at least until the Blackhawks take off. Then we're going to talk baseball. So going to be some short shows now without football season, because again, we only talk Chicago sports. Super Bowl coming up, but we focus on Chicago here. That's what it is. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great week. See you on Friday. I love you all, and stay strong, everyone. I'm just telling you that right now. I know there's days that have been hard, that are hard to get through. There's days that you just don't know if you're able to just get through the day, and you're like, why me? Why is this? Why am I going through this? But just know there's a reason, and there's always the lights on the other side, and never give up. Okay. Fight every single day for what you want and what you believe in, and hopefully those things come true. I'm Randy Anashadas from the Hello Chicago Network. We're the focus of Chicago sports.